Hello everyone, Coach Aaron here, and welcome back to another tactics problem. We're reading my Middlegame tactics chessbook. And so in this problem, this is problem number 7. We're looking at this position, it's white to move, and we're looking for the strongest continuation line of play here. We're going to start, this one is with a sacrifice, starting out, and the main idea that we're going to discover here is this bishop this is an X-ray attack, is what the tactic is known as, because this bishop and the king are on the same diagonal. Right now there's pieces in the way, but as we'll find out real quick that those pieces aren't going to be there forever. So we start out, white to move starts out with this move, knight takes on f7. And that clears, of course, one of the obstacles. And so when black recaptures with the rook, now we see that now there's a higher value piece on that diagonal now. And then let's see, that's going to be bishop is going to take the knight on f6, I believe. And here the bishop will recapture on f6. There are some additional sidelines here. I'm going to follow the main line, and then we're going to go back and then look at some of these sidelines that the author gives. But we'll just follow the main idea with rook takes on d5. And now attacking the queen and also removing another one of the obstacles on this diagonal. And let's see, the queen just sidesteps to c6. And now maybe later black is going to try to get some counterplay. And also notice that by moving the rook onto d5, we also discovered the attack on the undefended rook on c8. And so by moving the queen over to c6, we're also defending the rook. And maybe later we can put pressure on the C file. That's what black is eyeing here. We coordinate the battery on the C file, but this is not going to be strong enough, because as white will show here, he's got this move, rook to d6, attacking the queen, and again, we're using this attack on this diagonal. Now this rook is also pinned along this diagonal against the rook, and so if the queen retakes and captures the rook on d6, then black is going to be in real big trouble. So let's see what happens here. The queen retreats. The queen it's got to retreat to e8. So now we've got another defender on f7. We continue to defend our rook on c8, but we're giving up. We're just retreating here, giving up more space. There is a sideline. We'll look at that here in a second. And then here, white's going to play this incredible move now, rook to d7, keeping up the attack. And here it says, here's where the author ends it by saying white wins here. And the idea, I think, is this again. Now we're going to finish with the pressure on f7. The threat by white is bishop takes with the fork on the king and queen. And so we're going to win a lot of material, at least some of the material that we've sacrificed. We're going to win some of that material back and have a decisive advantage. So how does black defend here? I don't see a defense here, because I don't see how we can bring another defender. So let's see if I'm just going to move the rook to d8, see if we can try to get a counterattack. And so let's play out this line. Bishop takes on f7, check. So then the queen has to retake, and then rook take. Ooh, we can get sporty here. The main idea, the obvious move, is to take the queen, but we might be able to take the rook first, and then take. Oh no, the bishop's defending. Never mind. Okay, so we had to calculate to the end. So now just rook takes queen, and king takes, and we're still up. We're still up the material here. We're up a queen for a bishop. So this is good. This is good for white. This is going to be a winning endgame. Maybe just continue with queen f3, pin the bishop. So now we don't have to worry about our pawn, and then we can prepare to march the pawn, and also we can prepare to attack the 7th rank here with the queen, and just start getting some lateral pressure, and start mopping this up. Bring the point home. This seems good. Yeah. So let me go back. We didn't want to make the. We didn't want to. The one thing that you don't want to do in your games is you don't want to overcomplicate. I looked at this line here, but oops, we're just gonna. We have to look. We have to calculate because we're gonna throw away our advantage here, even though we are still up material. We're up the exchange. This endgame is still. It's gonna take some time to convert it. So we don't want to just throw away an advantage that we have found through all these tactics. So make sure that we calculate to the end and calculate thoroughly. Okay, let's look at some of these sidelines that the author gave, because you may have seen some of these ideas. I'm just going all the way back. Okay, so here we looked at rook takes on f7, but what if the king takes the knight? Obviously, it's not the natural move because we've just stepped into the pin. And now the knight's absolutely pinned. And after bishop takes on d5 with the check, the author gives just that here white wins. So let's briefly look at this line. So we can't retake with the queen, obviously, because we're defended by the rook here. If the knight retakes, which seems like the knight's pinned. The knight's pinned against the king. So we looked. Oh God! Wow, this is great. So this is a cross pin. This is a really good cross pin. I didn't even see it initially. So yeah, the king is in check. We've got to get out of check. So if we go backwards, okay, we just dropped material. We just dropped the material. I think white can just continue the attack. We can get sporty with a rook move, exposing this attack. We don't have the rook takes d5 like we did in the main line because the bishop's there. But we may be able. What if we try rook takes on f6 with the double attack, taking the queen and exposing the discovery attack on the rook. Now the queen doesn't have the c6 move like in the previous line, so let's just say that the queen just drops back. No, let's take the bishop. Queen takes the bishop because it's now undefended, but now you're just losing a lot of material because we have this first check. Rook takes check. If bishop drops back, then queen takes on c8, and we're just up a rook here. White's up a rook. We get out of the check. We might even get mated if we're not careful. So king gets out of the check. The rook can come in with check. King tries to run away, and this is going to be game over. Queen now takes on f8, and now we have a checkmate. So black just doesn't survive here with that rook move. It looks pretty powerful. Yeah, rook takes on f6 is pretty powerful. So queen cannot take that bishop on d5. If we try, let's just try retreating the queen, say back to c7 to protect the rook. Then we can just continue with the original plan. Just take the rook on f8 with check. If the bishop drops back, then we still have a little bit of an attack here. We still have attacking ideas with queen plays to e6. And now we want to block with the bishop. We don't want to block with the queen because then we drop the rook on c8. Let's just show that real quick. If we come in with the queen, well, we're also going to lose the queen to the bishop, and then we'll lose the rook. So yeah, the queen can't go there. So bishop will play instead to e7. And yeah, this is vicious. We do have, yeah, we do have these check attacks, but we're just going to let the king out. We can just hold everything here, I think, and we can take a, we can just start simplifying, or we can bring in another attacker, which is what I always like doing, just keeping the pressure going. But we can even just go into an endgame. Bishop takes e7, and now if queen takes, then queen takes on e7, king takes, check. Oh no, I'm sorry, I went too fast. We can take the rook first. Yeah, we can take the rook first, check. And so now the queen has to drop back because the king doesn't have a safe square, so the queen has to drop back. Take, and now we're in a winning endgame. So again, I moved too fast. We got to slow down and not move the and not blow the best line. So yes, if we just take the queen, yes, this is still winning. Okay, fine, but we're leaving black with a rook and some counter chances. We don't want to leave our opponent counter chances if there's a stronger move. So yes, let me promote the queen takes c8 line. Promote it because it is a stronger line. Okay, let's go back because this is taking a little bit longer, but that's just because the author gave us, let me just go all the way back. The author did give us some sidelines to consider, so very nice idea. So yeah, the black cannot come in here and take with the king. Okay, so after rook takes instead, bishop takes on f6, and then here we saw bishop takes on f6. He does give the line, what if knight takes on f6? Then he has, again, this idea which we saw on the previous line. We have rook takes on f6, good move. And of course, because the idea is that we're exposing this attack, this discovery attack on the rook on c8, and we're also winning a piece and then threatening to just continue trading off pieces. The rook is pinned as well and under double attack. So this is a vicious tactic. We saw it in the idea in the previous line, so let's see how it works here. And if bishop takes on f6, he gives, and then queen just takes the rook on c8 with check. The rook can't drop back because it's pinned, so we have to, here the author just gives that white wins after this, and I think it's because if the queen drops back, then we're just trading into a winning endgame. Bishop takes on d8, and then we can just bishop can capture on f7 with check, and now white is in a winning endgame with the exchange up and a pawn as well. So in effect, up a piece, and this is going to be a winning endgame. It's going to take some work because the bishop can always sacrifice for the extra pawn, but then we'll be up an extra rook in a winning endgame. So, okay, that's a good line, I think. And let's go back to the main line. After bishop takes, he has one more line after bishop takes on f6. Rook takes the knight. Queen moves over to c6. Rook plays this amazing move to d6, but same idea. We've kind of seen the idea, and we looked at the queen dropping back, but he also gave, let's say the queen takes the rook on d6, and then here again we have the discovery on the rook on c8 with check. The rook can't drop back, and so here it gives, yeah, it just gives white wins here after, and we just saw the line in the previous line, sideline, that this is going to be a win for black. I'm sorry, a win for white. Black can drop back with the bishop here maybe and try to hold this way, which seems a little bit trickier rather than liquidating the queens. But again, the rook is still pinned here, and now white just needs to coordinate an attack and then get to a winning endgame. This would seem like a bit more resistance on the black side. Let me real quick, I'm going to look and see what the engine gives us. Yeah, the engine's saying we're up a queen here. We're up a queen, and it likes rook f1. Yeah, that makes sense. The pin it and win it. The rook is pinned, so let's attack it again. Rather than the obvious line would be just to take the rook right away and get into this endgame. But no, you can create black a little bit more problems by playing the rook to f1, and then black gets some luft, and then we take the rook here, and now black is going to lose this endgame. I don't think we even need an engine to win this one. There's a million ways to win here, because now we're up a rook. So king, let's just move the king out of the engine wanted the rook to the king to move over to f8, but I mean that's just going to open you up to a discovery attack. So we're just good. But if we go to h7, then we're going to allow this queen to come back. So let's just move to h8. That seems like a natural move. But now, now we have we can just continue playing with bishop to g6 now. That king's going to get tied down into the corner. The queen is now going to be overworked because we're going to be guarding these two squares with the queen. The rook can come down, of course, if we can deflect. If we can deflect the queen away from the defensive f8, then that's game over as well. So a lot of tactics here in this endgame, and we're going to leave it there. This is a good problem. A little bit more to look at, because it was. It seems like it's kind of we were in a middle game, and there were a lot of pieces on the board, lots of different combinations. We had to analyze each line, and that's how we improve our calculations. We have to analyze every single possibility and see how every line looked like it was a winning line for white. The tactics were just overpowering. Wow, what a problem. I'm going to go back there. So even though, I mean, this initially starting out looks like there's pieces everywhere, but we saw white had all the play here. White had all the play, and the main ideas were that we had this X-ray attack on this bishop. Even though we didn't really see the fireworks from this bishop, it was always there. The pin ideas were always there, and also we had the rook along the f file, also creating tactics, and then of course the discoveries on the c8 rook were always there. Powerful placement of pieces here from the white side, and the other two minor pieces were playing supporting roles as well. So thank you so much. This was a little bit longer than the others, but it's okay. These tactics problems, we're going to keep going through them, and just keep improving our chess. Wow, incredible problems. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.